All right, Ged. Episode 9, The Bad Batch, Bounty Lost.
Genetics do not give you an accent.
There's lots of competition in bounty hunting.
And what in the hell was that?
Yeah. What was that?
I have no idea.
First off, I want
Yeah.
to say, completely a Bad Batch unrelated. For people in the U.S., you might not know, but Canada's been in lockdown for the most part. And specifically, neither of us could get haircuts since, this has been March?
Yeah. So I actually had my wife shave mine, so there's like random like long hairs, but yeah, you are flowy.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of flow going on.
I tried, oddly enough, I've tried twice to arrange a barber I was somewhat familiar with to come give me a black market haircut. And the fines are so outrageous, they both said no.
So for $1,700, they'd come and cut your hair?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I think it's what? A couple
30th.
weeks? 30th?
Yeah, no, 30th, like 5 days from now.
All right, 5 days.
But more importantly, I think it's important to look at the positive side here. Like we've just started to be able to do this again rather than being in the online space. So
the people I work with, work with a lot of people in the US, and they're like, what do you mean your salons aren't open?
Yeah.
Like, ours were closed for maybe 2 months in 2020.
Yeah.
And we've been, it is what it is.
Yep.
Okay, Bad Batch. We find Cad Bane organizing the drop-off. So a couple of things we speculated from past episodes were pretty much on point. So Lamasu has hired Cad Bane, and we were kind of speculating, did they hire Fennec Shand or not? And it was actually just Cad Bane. And what we find out is Namaste. One of them. The one who's kind of acted as a mother to Omega is the one who's hired Fennec Shand.
Yep.
So we have the two bounty hunters competing for Omega to bring her back. So we get kind of a chase on an abandoned cloning facility. Test planet, whatever you want to call it, the backup site. Omega kind of gets away, and the Bad Batch swoops in last minute, rescues her. So where do you want to start?
Well, first things first. You and I have done reviews on Star Wars movies. We've done them on The Mandalorian. We've done them on this. This is the first time you and I have ever done or watched a show where we had to go back and look stuff up. Like, you're typically the encyclopedia for Star Wars. Yeah. The fact that you didn't recognize the planet that they were on or the system that they're in, or we had to go back and look at that goopy creature inside the big vat. I mean, it was nice that you, for once, were surprised. It was actually kind of refreshing.
No, it was nice to see. Again, there's lots of stuff to speculate on, but normally, to your point, there's something from the EU, there's something from the Clone Wars, there's a lot of stuff that you can either recognize and go to and tie your own conclusions to. But I found this episode, generally there's a lot of stuff where we were just like, what the hell's that?
Yeah. And which is good because normally
good
like they'll come back and touch on stuff. So it'll be neat. Like down the road, years from now, we'll go back and they'll reference the system that they're in now or the planet they're on now and be like, oh, you're like, I remember when I first saw that in Bad Batch. Like, it's nice that they're still expanding that universe, right?
So the Kaminos, they got this backup planet with a backup cloning facility on there.
Which had to be for a different project, if I had to guess, because Kamino, they look like the structures look the same.
Yeah.
Kamino seems to be the clone facility.
Yeah.
So the real, in my opinion, the real question is, what was the purpose of this facility? Yeah. What were they cloning? Who were they cloning it for? Because it's not like they have like divisions of the buildings that are for separate things. Like, I'm pretty sure Kamino is all about cloning.
Yep.
So what was this for?
Yeah, maybe like my early guess, and just, I think it's the most obvious answer, is just R&D, right? That's your research and development. Like, let's button down this process and then upgrade the production to our large facility. But again, I guess to your point.
No, I don't think so. I think they do it
City, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do all that in-house? Since
it's
such an extensive place.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like the black market, underground, shady cloning stuff.
I mean, I spewed out Snoke. Yeah. Obviously, my mind went to the new trilogy and all of the vats of different clones. And all I could think of when I saw the like the oozy green, and it didn't really look like, once we stopped and we looked at it, didn't necessarily look exactly like a Snoke, but it looked like they were putting beings together, and I couldn't help but flash to episode 9.
Yeah, and the thing I think we landed on, it looked like it might have been a Kaminoan. There we go. But like, the neck was a little short and the body was pretty big. I know they are big, but like, it like weighed down Fennec Shan when it fell on her, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's also a little waterlogged.
Yeah. So like, and then when you look at that, there's that one shot of the face. Yeah. And it looks like nothing like any of the ones we're talking about. It almost looks like, I joke, kind of looked like a Sullustan, like Nin Num. That weird, I know there's a dirty joke there about his lips, but it kind of looked like that. So again, like Star Wars now has been towing this line of mystery of the clones, right? Yep. From Snoke's origin to what's going on in the Mandalorian to now, Kamino is obviously the cloning where everything begins, and you see Pershing has the Kamino emblem, the cloning emblem on him and stuff like that. But now we get this black site that is doing God knows what. And like, I don't know, is that what they're growing there, similar to what we saw in that Mandalorian test chamber? Like,
or was that where they came from?
Yeah, so
no one really knows the origins of the Caminos.
So they're really stretching out this whole cloning mystery. And even if you go to the EU, like the expanded universe legends, whatever you want to call it, like they were obviously big. Like one of the big storylines was cloning, right? Like they had a cloned Luke Skywalker, right? Who was evil. Palpatine had clones. Like they had, like, that was huge stories there. So I wonder if we're eventually going to get some sort of, integration there. But it's definitely, it seems to me now, it's a bigger mystery crossing multiple shows now. Yeah. So I think it was
nice to see him open it up.
Yeah. So again, not really answers, but we're starting to see maybe some more seeds being planted that they might explore live action down the road.
Next, we learn that Omega is a direct genetic descendant of Jango Fett, which, we were watching it and you're like, well, that makes sense because the actor that played Jango Fett was Australian or was a Kiwi. And that's where I'm like, well, genetics don't give you an accent. Yeah. So I was wrong. You were right. I'll give credit.
Last week I said I think she's just a female Boba Fett,
and I said no. I said no. I said it was someone different, but you were absolutely correct.
I think it almost now confirms our original theory that she had the Bad Batch traits grown into her. Not true. Not true. It's just all her abilities are just inherent Jango Fett abilities.
First descendant, because Boba is the man. Yeah. As we keep learning and learning and learning, so it's nice to see. Yeah. And
so now, again, back to last week's review, we kind of brought it up. Like, all this effort to go after just to keep Jango Fett's DNA strain alive. Like, why? Like, I know he was a good bounty hunter, but like, you're telling me there's not other candidates in an entire galaxy?
Or like, just take Crosshairs?
Yeah, Crosshairs. Well, I guess he might be considered a descendant of that DNA, so
right? But he's a strong soldier.
Yeah, but he might be slightly degraded, right?
Yeah, like, why not kidnap Saw Gerrera?
Yeah, like,
steal his DNA.
There's so many options. I feel there's got to be options. Like, find a young Han Solo. Like, it's weird that they're so
find
fixated.
A Jedi or a Sith Lord.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so fixated. It has to be Jango Fett's DNA. Yeah, like, maybe, I guess, all the stuff we've created for cloning and stuff like that is finely tuned for his DNA.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you get someone new, you have to start over. But until they really explain that, it seems weird they couldn't, with all their experience and technology, they couldn't just grab somebody new.
Yeah, it does seem a little off. But all right, at least so we know where she comes from. Yeah, the big goop, and then we have, as you mentioned, we have dual bounty hunting. Yeah,
but can I just say, like, when I was watching those first couple scenes with Cad Bane, like, I couldn't help but think, like, man, it'd be nice to get a Cad Bane series, or like have Cad Bane like get a more regular role in something. Yeah, like, I don't know, I love the character, and especially they're really, like, I noticed, I can't remember if they did it this much in the Clone Wars, but they're really hammering home the whole Western.
Oh yeah,
like, when he walks in, you just hear like strings getting played. Yeah. And he's like, and I love when he has that standoff with Fennec. He's like in the back, and there's like mist or fog in front of his silhouette, and he's like,
I was waiting for like the tumbleweed to roll across. Yeah,
and he's just like, you don't have the experience.
Yeah, I was waiting for the drop. Like, do you feel lucky?
Yeah,
it just goes straight throwback.
Yeah, now it's gone to the point where now, like, if he doesn't appear in that Boba Fett series in live action, like, I might be disappointed. I feel
well, you've told me a couple times that there's an unfinished episode where Boba Fett kills Cad Bane.
Yeah.
So how epic would it be to see in the Book of Fett?
Yeah, they make that scene live action.
Yeah.
And then they could go full balls to the wall Western.
Yeah.
With that, right? Even give a tumbleweed.
Yeah. Well, right? Because it'd be on Tatooine. So I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was that. And now just a couple nerdy details for me. You know, in the Clone Wars and stuff like that, you know, Cad Bane flies a ship called Xanadu Blood. It doesn't appear to me like that's the ship he has here. So his ship has changed. There's one more thing I believe that I noticed. And then just a weird one. They kept calling her Ton Wei. Yeah. And I could like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear in Attack of the Clones, baby Boba says, "Dad, Ton Wei's here."
Yeah, now it's Ton Wei.
Now everyone's calling it Ton Wei. So I thought that was a little, continuity.
It's funny you bring that up because, not to look too far into it, but when he said, Dad, Ton Wei's here, like there's a friendly familiarity.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, other than the Prime Minister, like there seems to be a close-knit relationship between these clones, especially these direct descendants, almost like she's in special projects for Alpha, who becomes Boba, and now Omega, right?
Yeah. And well, at that time too, right? Jango's alive. Like they have unlimited resources for his material.
Yep.
And then once he falls, now they appear to be in panic mode. And I wonder, do they have similar bounty hunters looking for Boba? Because
they did say he disappeared. Yeah.
He would solve the same issue. And at this time he's...
Yeah, but who are you going to go after? Boba Fett as a rebellious, probably teenager at this point?
And he's rolling with...
8-year-old girl.
Yeah, and Boba's probably rolling with, like Bosk about now, right? So he's protected. And then one final note. Last week when Crosshair gets his face like melted off, he's all bandaged up. Yeah. And then the rumors were starting to fly, like, he's going to become Dengar. Yeah. And then when we see the first little clip of him in the shuttle chasing them, I'm like, man, those bandages actually do look like Dengar. I didn't buy it originally, and I still don't think it is, but they're really doing. They're making it kind of hard.
They're letting you lead into it.
Like Dengar.
Yeah, it's fair.
So it'll be funny if they kind of retcon Dengar. Well, I don't even know if he really had a past, but if they kind of make it into canon that Dengar was an old clone, so to speak. But we'll see if Bandage Man ends up being that. Okay, so let's score this. What do you got?
I'm gonna give it 7.8. 7.8. I liked it. I love the new. I mean, for us to get over 8 is huge based on our scoring. I mean, I think our scoring is very conservative. Yeah, but I'd give it a solid 7.8. They've opened up some new. Yeah, they've opened up some new possibilities to come back to. I loved the explanation. We're finally getting some closure on some facts. So I'll give it 7.8. You?
I'm actually, I think this might be the first time I'm higher than you. I'm actually going to go 8.0 even. Okay. I love all the Cad Bane Western elements, the bounty hunter duel. Yep. It was kind of cool that the Bad Batch weren't even really in the episode at all. It was more Omega and bounty hunters. Yep. And I do like the breadcrumbs of the mysteries they're dropping. It was kind of, suspenseful, some good tension. Yep. I like where it's going.
All right.
All right, everyone, let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. Any of the stuff we talked about. If you have anything to add, let us know. And we'll see you all next Friday.
Take care.
Peace.